This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Spoiler number one is Dr. Lee frowns. It stinks.
What is going on? What is going on?
Episode 89, Submission 202, Learning the Ropes. Learning the Ropes aired on CTV in Canada and in syndication in the United States from September 18th, 1988 to March 31st, 1989. Now, the number of episodes, Truth by Consensus, Wikipedia says 26 episodes, but one episode guide we have is 24. So somewhere in the range of 24 to 26 episodes.
Meet Robert Randall, hard-working teacher,
This sort of viciousness shouldn't be allowed. This is professional wrestling.
dedicated vice principal,
Oh, no! I think he's going to hit the masked maniac.
and devoted father who moonlights as a professional wrestler.
My father's an animal.
This is my other job, and these are my friends. But you both got to keep this a secret.
In this world of ours, sometimes bring us down, in our hopes to the ground, but we can work it out. 'Cause giving in is oh so hard, but love is at stake. Where there's a will, there's a way. Now if we only knew how, learning the ropes, learning to laugh and feel, learning to fight through these years that bring us closer together. Learning the ropes, learning the first golden rule, knowing that anything is possible. 'Cause nothing's gonna keep us from, nothing's gonna keep us from learning the ropes.
I know it sounds like Kate and Nelly, but it's really macho, so yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it sounds like Kate and Allie. Well, Chico, the 1980s, we talked about it in previous installment tag team, but professional wrestling in the 1980s was big on television.
That was the chef's kiss of
Yeah.
the era.
It was.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yep. I mean, you had the WWF running roughshod over the television world, but you also had a little company that was at the time in the mid 80s based in your neck of the woods, Chico, in Charlotte, North Carolina, Jim Crockett Promotions, and they ended up buying the coveted 6:05 Saturday afternoon time slot on the old Superstation WTBS around 1985 from Vince McMahon, which we'll cover in a future installment about the time that WWF was on WTBS. But 1985, Jim Crockett Promotions, Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling, they ended up buying the time slot, and soon enough, at 6:05 on Saturdays on the Superstation, you had your Ric Flairs, you had your Dusty Rhodes, you had your Tully Blanchards, your Arn Andersons, you had your Rock and Roll Expresses, your Midnight Expresses, you had your Road Warriors. Oh, it was just a fun time to watch television on a Saturday.
Oh, but yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. What I love is that NWA Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling live from Dorton Arena. It wasn't on Dorton, and when it wasn't in Dorton Arena, it was in the studios of the Big Five. If you're in Raleigh-Durham, you know the Big Five. You know they were all about wrestling back in the day. You know for a moment they're still all about wrestling. They're very,
Oh, yeah, they'll have like an indie show being like, oh, yeah, here, watch the Rock and Roll Express face the Midnight Express for like the 80,000th time. And it'll be like, okay, you pack 2,000 people in the building. Or
Yeah. So again, that was big business back in the day. And in the 80s and late 80s, early 90s, both promotions and stars were looking to expand upon the brands, if you would. You know, right before the WWE came and snatched everything up.
Yeah.
That is sort of the genesis of this show.
Yes, learning the ropes. Now this was a Canadian produced sitcom.
Mm-hmm. And the plot is rather simple. You have a single dad of two who's trying to make ends meet as a teacher and, in secret, a professional jobber.
Yeah. He has to keep the kayfabe.
He has to keep the kayfabe. He has to keep the kayfabe when he's on TV wearing a mask. Otherwise, perfectly normal life.
Yeah, it's a good thing he's wearing a mask because nobody can see his face.
And he better not show his face, or else he's going to lose his job as a teacher.
Oh yeah, because
the principal is a vindictive little mother. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, principal's not going to like that. Doesn't approve of the wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. So who do we got playing the lead role of the title wrestler, the Masked Maniac?
Wait, are we talking about who do we have playing the Masked Maniac, or who do we have playing?
Well, the teacher.
Yeah, the teacher. Okay, so we have Lyle Alzado, former football great, former Cleveland Brown Mike.
Yes, he was back in the late 70s and early 80s.
Although he is known as a legend in Oakland. Well, he was a legend in Los Angeles, but then they moved to Oakland. So he's a legend nope, he's a legend in Las Vegas, because I forgot they moved to Las Vegas.
And a legend in Denver, because he was on the Orange Crush when Denver faced Dallas in the one Super Bowl in the 70s when they had Craig Morton at QB.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was.
So he is Robert Randall, mild-mannered teacher, educator, molder of minds, not unlike my friend Mike here.
Thank you.
Okay. But he is also a single father because the wifey is out in London earning her PhD, so he has to make ends meet. So how does he do this? By donning a mask and a black onesie and becoming the Masked Maniac.
Yeah. And I don't know how he got the job as wrestler. I'm wondering, has Robert Randall been doing this like full time?
He's been doing this for a while because it's one of those things that's never explained during the course of the series. But again, the first scene of the series, that is not Ivan Koloff being thrown about like a rag doll by some jobber, the Soviet son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's a reason why Nikita defected.
No, it's Robert and three wrestlers, or actually Robert and two wrestlers and his friend playing poker.
Yep.
And of course the friend, he is sworn to secrecy, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like I said, got to keep the kayfabe down low.
Yep. And so you have Robert as the masked maniac. But interesting thing, once he puts on the mask, it almost becomes like Power Rangers or Spider-Man, because that's not him wrestling in the ring.
Yeah, because it's Dr. Deaf Steve Williams playing the stunt double for the Masked Maniac. By the way, Dr. Deaf Steve Williams, who we already talked about in Herb Abrams' UWF, and we'll talk about again in future installment, the WWF Brawl for All.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Getting knocked out by Bart Gunn.
Only way to live, Greg.
No.
Only way to live.
And we should mention regarding Dr. Death, during the filming of this show, he actually sustained some real injuries, including a blown knee and a cut that needed 39 stitches. And Dr. Death referred to his pay from doing this show as the most painful $2,000 that he ever earned. $2,000? That's under $100 an episode. Dang, Canada's cheap.
Hey, dang, Jim Crockett's cheap.
There you go.
Because I'll get to that. I'll get to that a bit later when we get to the end. So, but yeah, spoilers on that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so who are the kids that Robert is the father to? Well, one of them is Mark Randall, who is played by a young Canadian actor by the name of Yannick Besson, which you may remember from such gems as High Tide, where he started with Rick Springfield as, what were they? Hired Guns, Renegades, Private Eyes?
Sure. I mean,
all three.
It's though, what was that show with G. Gordon Liddy, Mike? 18 Wheels of Justice, I think it was called.
Oh, for the love.
Yeah, I think, 18 Wheels of Justice is definitely a show. Yeah, I think that's the one with G. Gordon Liddy, yes.
Okay. Nowadays, you can find him on Murdoch Mysteries, if you know where to look, because I don't know where to look.
Is it a PBS? Is that a PBS thing?
It was made for ITV Studios, I think. So.
But also it airs in Canada on CBC.
Oh, okay.
But also, I'm surprised you didn't mention what else you may have seen him on. Well, at least for our friends north of the border, The Adventures of Napkin Man. Don't ask.
Don't worry.
What in the hell is that?
Greg, he just said not to ask.
It was a show that apparently was on CBC Kids.
Was he Napkin Man?
No, he, I believe, was the teacher of the kids. And, he helps his students learn about emotions with stories about a superhero napkin man drawn on a napkin. And this got 3 seasons.
Wow. Oh,
60 episodes, apparently, if you believe IMDb.
60 episodes of a napkin drawing.
60 12-minute episodes. It looks like it was a cartoon.
Oh.
Well, yeah, it was drawn on a napkin, so there you go.
My God.
And I'm surprised Greg is not adding it to the list as we speak.
You're going to add it.
Oh, okay, if I have to.
Napkin Man.
Done like Trojan Man. Oh, for fuck's sake, you ought to feel bad.
I ought to. I don't. Anyway. So... Oh, for the love of God, Mike!
I just linked it. I didn't put it as an entry. I just linked it.
Okay. All right. So the other child, Ellen Randall, played by Nicole Stoffman, who, if you're a big fan of Degrassi High, and we're talking not Drake Degrassi, we're talking about old school.
Well, that's
OG Degrassi, baby.
That's a shame, because the only Degrassi I recognize is the one that is Wheelchair Jimmy.
Okay. Yeah, she played Stephanie from 1987 to 1988. Yeah, okay. That's pretty much the only... Oh, wait. She was on one episode of FX the series. Yeah. That was also a thing on TV. In fact, let me put that on the list right now.
I forgot about FX the series.
FX the series.
Not the network. The series based on the movie with Brian Dennehy.
Yeah. If you remember the movie with Brian Dennehy on it, you're better than I am.
Didn't it have a sequel?
Yes, it did.
My God.
Now, aside from being a career man and a very learned educator and molder of minds, he was also a ladies' man. Or,
Woo!
Because one of the teachers a lady by the name of Carol Dixon has her eye set on Robert Randall while, the wife is away in London earning her PhD. She's played by Cheryl Wilson. She made the rounds as that woman from That Thing on Canadian television, syndicated to the U.S. But of course, she did play the admissions counselor on the original Mother May I Sleep with Danger.
Oh!
Is that on the list? Is Mother May I Sleep with Danger on the list?
I don't know.
I'm gonna take a look real quick.
Isn't that like a famous TV movie?
Yes.
Didn't Family Guy make fun of that?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
the
that.
Original and the remake
Of Mother May I Sleep with Danger.
Cheryl Wilson was also in Street Justice and future installments. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
Power Pack.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a pilot based on the Marvel comic.
Okay. When was this?
1991.
Okay. So
back when everyone was doing a superhero TV show in 1991.
Okay, this would be like nobody knows. This is like obviously pre superhero movies all the time, so nobody knows who the hell these Marvel characters are in 1991 outside of comic book readers.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to make that Incredible Hulk dollar.
Yeah. 10 years after the Incredible Hulk.
And one of Robert's friends is a man by the name of Dr. Jerry Larson, who is a teacher played by Barry Stevens, who's known more or less as a producer now, or producer and a director nowadays.
Oh, that's good. So he's the Canadian Jamie Widows.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Folks, that is 3 consecutive episodes I've worked to reference the Jamie Widows on this podcast.
You go, Greg.
Yeah.
And then there's, of course, the bane of Robert's existence, and that is Principal Whitcomb Mallory, the principal of Ridgeway Preparatory. Even the name sounds like he should be a douchebag.
Yeah, that is a total douchebag name for a principal. What a terrible
And guess
name.
what, guys? Just like a lot of people last week, this was the only show he ever starred on a regular basis.
Oh.
Yeah. Although there is one more who is sort of a supporting character, but is not exactly a full cast member, and that's Gordon Michael Wolvett, who you know as Seamus Harper on Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda.
That's your second wings.
Yeah, that's my second. No, that's not my second wings. It's just it's a show. It's a TV show. It has its own network on Pluto, and
wait, hold up. Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda has its own channel on Pluto.
Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda has its own channel on Pluto.
Why? Why does it have its own channel on Pluto?
Because people like Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. So you have everybody who is in this little circle that Robert Randall has sort of woven for himself by juggling his double life.
Yep. He tells his kids, this is his job, these are his friends, but you have to keep it a secret.
Yep.
Point blank.
It's like, this is the job, these are my coworkers, but nobody needs to know about this.
Yep. You got to keep it down low, because they find out I'm a wrestler. You know, I lose my teaching job because it's not like he's gonna make the big money because he's a jobber.
And he's also a teacher, so
yeah, he's got to make that teacher money. It's not like he's gonna make Ric Flair money.
I don't make no Ric Flair money. He don't make no Ric Flair money. He's a jobber. He's lucky if he makes the $2,000 that Dr. Death does every episode.
Yeah, he's lucky if he goes to to quote Dusty Rhodes, the pay window if he wins a match.
He probably makes more in the ring than he does in his classroom.
Maybe.
Hence, he needs the 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Because he's a single father.
Yeah.
Of 2 teenagers.
2 kids. 2 kids.
2 teenagers. Not just 2 kids. 2 teenagers.
2 teenagers in 1988, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like he's making tenure.
Tenure in 1988? You're crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking of crazy, what sort of hijinks does this family and friends and coworkers get themselves into, I wonder?
Well, we're gonna go look at this episode guide, and it took me a long while, but I did find an episode guide.
Yeah.
From TVarchive.ca. I got a capture from like March 13th, 2016. So thank you, Wikipedia, for leading me down the road to finally finding an episode guide for this.
And I'll tell you right now, thanks to the I want to say Newfoundland and Labrador Wrestling Archive, or the NL Wrestling Archive on YouTube, they have the episodes.
Most of them. You can watch them on YouTube if you want.
Oh yeah. Of course, we're not going to force you to, because it takes a bit of doing.
Yeah, you gotta actually put the work into finding it.
Yeah, and even if you put the work into finding it, it's like, okay, do you really want to?
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. First episode: Unmasking the Masked Maniac. Robert's romantic relationship with a coworker is threatened because he's too afraid to tell her about his alter ego. Robert's son finds a hood worn by wrestling star the Masked Maniac in the hall closet, and the children discover that he's moonlighting as a professional wrestler. Oh.
But again, this is one of those, this is my job, these are my coworkers, but nobody needs to know about this.
Yep. Episode 2. Like Father, Like Son. Wasn't that a movie starring Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes,
was.
it was.
Yeah, we'll cover that on It Was a Thing at the movies in 2025. When Mark loses the girl of his dreams to a football hero, Robert consoles his son by explaining what it was like when their mother left. Well, I mean, doesn't that always suck? You want to get that girl at the prom, but nope, she's with some douchebag.
Yep.
No, we've all been there, folks. All been there.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. Episode 3, Express Lane to Fame. Mark's decision to quit school and pursue a career in music leaves his relationship with his father down for the 2 count. Ah ha ha ha.
I see what they did there.
Yeah. My God, whoever wrote that description to TV Guide, you're
a credit to something.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what, but you're a credit to something.
Episode 4, Requiem for a Maniac. Robert decides to leave the ring for good when he seriously injures an opponent. Oh, this is our very special episode.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
At least he didn't kill the guy.
Hey, how do we know it's a guy? How do we not know from future installment Pro Wrestling's Greatest Secrets from NBC in 1999 that he injured a stunt granny?
That sounds painful.
Yeah, we'll eventually get to the NBC Pro Wrestling's Greatest Secrets Exposed special, which is narrated for some reason by Nick Bakay.
Because he has that voice. Oh, and speaking of because he has that voice, playing themselves in this episode, Jimmy Garvin, Precious, and Tully Blanchard.
Yeah. This was October 1988, so this was probably around the time like him and Arn Anderson had already left for the WWF as the Brainbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, that I'm sure that was great for the NWA.
Oh, of course.
Promote a guy who's now with another company, your main rival. Oh, but episode 5, who shows up? Okay, episode 5, the homecoming. Robert gets the mumps just as his wife Ann is due for a visit.
Oh, noes.
The mumps.
Not the mumps. Was the mumps a big thing in 19... Yeah, that's going to be covered in our Patreon spin-off podcast. It was a thing in epidemiology.
Mike, was mumps a big thing in 1988? I was 4 years old, so I wouldn't know.
I was 8, and I never had the mumps.
Don't drag me into this.
You know who's dragged into this?
I could tell you the principal was dragged into the locker room.
Yeah, he was. But in episode 5, we talked about him in previous installment, episode 10. Larry Zbyszko. So you know what that means. Somebody get me a banana. Yep. I hope so. You know what Larry Zbyszko probably said on the set of Learning the Ropes?
Somebody get me a banana.
You're damn right he said somebody get me a banana. He's the freaking living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
Somebody get him a banana.
By the way,
I should probably mention one of Robert's coworkers in the ring, a guy by the name of Cheetah, who is played by Jefferson Mappin. I don't know who that guy.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy is.
But he wore a cheetah skin, obviously. And
he's been in a lot of Canadian stuff. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
The only series that I recognize him from, actually, there's 2. Maniac Mansion. He played a cable technician on an episode, but also he appeared on 3 episodes of the early '90s reality show Top Cops.
Okay. I remember that.
I remember Top Cops. That was one of my favorite shows back in the day. But also, just as a sort of running gag, he also appeared on an episode of Hangin' In. And yes, anytime we talk about a Canadian show, we're going to mention if they were on Hangin' In or not. He was on Hangin' In.
Either Hangin' In or Corner Gas. Yeah, Lance Storm, that was for you. We mentioned Corner Gas.
We like Corner Gas.
Corner Gas is... We like Corner Gas. Corner Gas is awesome.
Our friend Dane loves Corner Gas.
Hey, Dane.
Hi, Dane. Okay, so we were talking about the homecoming and his wife, Anne, who, if I can... Oh, yeah, but yeah, his wife's Anne's coming for a visit. By the way, his wife, Anne, is played by... It doesn't say.
No, it's nobody, because she doesn't... Because, spoilers, she doesn't show up.
She's basically Maris from Frasier.
That's what I was going to say. She's Maris from Frasier. She's talked about, but you never see her.
Which is kind of a cop-out if you think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so episode 6 now is 3 little words. Mark looks to the wrestling ring for career day speakers while Ellen befriends a new boy at school who mistakenly interprets her overtures as something more than simple friendship. Because, hey, we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Episode 7, Teacher's Pet Peeve. Mark promises his classmates that biology will be a snap when Robert fills in as a substitute teacher, but then Mark gets suspended.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, well. This is when Mark learns you shouldn't be that guy just because you're that teacher's son.
Yeah.
Because you know as well as I do that he could kick your ass if he wants to.
He probably could. Yeah. Episode 8. Rob and Carol and Hawk and Animal. Carol tries to make Robert jealous by dating a couple of smashing young men, the Road Warriors.
Oh, of course, because, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to bring on a date, Hawk and Animal from the Road Warriors.
I've never heard them called smashing young men before.
Oh, they're smashing young men.
Oh, yeah.
And by smashing young men, we of course mean young men who can smash.
Who can smash?
Not in the sexual way. You're wearing your insides on the outside sort of way.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine the Road Warriors trying to beat up on poor Dr. Death as Maniac?
No, I can't.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Anyway, let's get to episode number 9. Is there a redneck in the house?
The Randalls get an unwanted house guest, played by Dick Murdoch, hence the title, Is There a Redneck in the House? After Robert gives marital advice to a friend, Ellen runs for a student council seat.
That sounds like a very high school-y problem.
Yeah.
Not the redneck. The Ellen runs for a student council seat.
Yeah. Not Dick Murdoch coming into your house. No, running for a student
that's
council.
just a problem. That's just a problem. That's not a high school problem. That's universal.
Next episode, With a Little Help from My Friends.
Oh, I like this one. Robert encounters 2 problems. 2. An edgy wrestling team and his defiant daughter Ellen, who elects to hang out with the cool crowd and comes home drunk after a party. Yeah. And by the way, one of the guest stars on this is Ron Simmons.
Oh, wait.
Greg, educate me.
Oh, Ron Simmons. Well, I got one word to say about him. Damn! But yeah, Ron Simmons, what a legendary wrestler in WCW and the WWF. Probably know him as Farouk in the WWF. But Ron Simmons was a great college football player at Florida State. I believe his numbers retired at Florida State. And I know he played a couple of seasons in the USFL with the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Episode 11. Money Talks. Robert wrestles with his conscience while deciding... Who wrote this? Robert wrestles with his conscience while deciding whether or not to give up his teaching position.
Oh, no.
Are they going to pay him? Are they going to pay him more to be a jobber, or is he going to the Big Show? What's the deal here?
No, Chico. The Big Show doesn't show up in WCW until 1995.
Yeah, I know that.
Until when he wrestles Hulk Hogan in a sumo monster truck match on the roof of Cobo Hall. And then him and a mummy dry hump the Hulkster in the ring.
Yeah.
That happened, folks.
Which is not weird at all, by the way.
No.
There was one more person on this show, and that's Grant Cowan as Bertie Baxter. I know who he is either.
No.
He's probably a teacher.
No, he's like the ring announcer.
Oh, he's the ring announcer. My bad.
He's the ring announcer. Yes.
Okay. In that case, his short stature makes even more sense.
Yes. Where are we at now?
We're at episode 12. Robert takes a fall. Robert mistakes romance for friendship when he hits it off with the daughter of wrestler Paul Jones.
Oh, no. No. Not Paul Jones. He's gonna send Paul Jones's army after Robert. It's not gonna end well. It's not gonna end well for Robert.
No, it's not. It's gonna end very badly. Robert, I'm gonna tell you right now, run. Run fast, run hard, and run in the other direction.
Because Paul Jones is going to use his dirty tricks on you. Don't even try. Just run. Get the hell away.
You do not want to run afoul of
Paul Jones. It's like when you go to the bike shop run by Gordon Jump on Different Strokes.
Oh no!
You have to stay the hell away from it.
No! We're not. No, we don't talk about that. Episode 13. Jerry's mom. Mark and Ellen must work together when Jerry's mother moves in.
Oh, that's it. That's just terrible. Don't you just hate it when that happens? You have a problem. Someone's mother comes into your house. It's not going to end well.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, thanks, Jerry. And it wasn't enough that he sprung his mother at the worst possible time. Everybody basically acts like they're cool with this. I'm like,
what?
Everybody's cool with this? How is this even possible?
Yeah, it's someone's mother who's now coming to your house. If someone's mother came in and said, I'm going to live in your house for a while, what would you think?
I'm calling the police. They're leaving.
You're damn right. I don't care if it's your coworker's mother. It's like, I don't want you in my house.
Yeah, well, Mike and Ellen, they do the only thing they can possibly do at a time like this. Anything they want.
All right, next episode, Mallory's Problem. Carol discovers that Whitcomb is despondent over the loss of his only friend. Mike, this is going to be close to your heart. His pet cat. And convinces Robert to help him deal with the situation. But the plan backfires when Whitcomb adopts Robert as his new best friend.
Aww.
We can all, you know what? That just gets you right here.
Yeah.
Episode 15, Mixed Emotions. Mark contemplates a monastic life after he mistakenly thinks Carol is romantically interested in him and embarrasses him trying to win her heart. Should be noted, judging by the on-screen graphics, that this was the beginning of the back order of episodes.
Yeah. This would have had to have been.
Yeah.
All
right now, everybody is well established in their roles. Mark is the wisecracker, Ellen's the comic foil, and Robert is, well, he's the masked maniac.
Yeah. Next episode, Robert and Rosie. Unable to find a date, Whitcomb is reluctant to attend a banquet to receive the Principal of the Year award. A rugged female wrestler becomes infatuated with Robert after he schools her in the art of femininity. Ooh!
Ooh. This looks like it could end so many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like and you know what? It's timely because what would be happening around this time? The rise and fall of Glow.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Glow would be near the end, I think.
Yep, I'd say so. Oh, by the way, guest stars on this episode include the Italian Stallion and David Isley.
Cool.
Never heard of him.
Next episode, The Lifesaver. Ellen enjoys the accolades of her friends after she revives Mark, who, having been refused in advance on his allowance by Robert, gives himself a severe electric shock while trying to fix his amplifier.
Ow.
Jeez. I don't think any of us can relate to that.
That feels wrong. Oh my god.
It feels wrong, but also, yeah, I don't know much about guitars and amplifiers, but fixing an amplifier, is that even a common issue?
How can I put this? I don't know. Episode 18, Roomies. The volatile relationship between Bertie and Robert explodes after Bertie develops tonsillitis and Robert separates his shoulder during a wrestling match, and the two are forced to share a hospital room. Now we're diving into trope territory, I like to call it. Y'all know what trope territory is. It's where we abandon all sorts of character development and start going into tropes. Trapped in a hospital room. Yeah, that's a total trope. Episode 19, To Catch a Thief. Ellen has her new watch stolen during her birthday party, and Mark is forced to tell Robert that the culprit is Ellen's seemingly perfect boyfriend, Michael. More tropes.
Yep. Of course it was the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And of course, Robert has to be the one to... Actually, Mark has to be... Why is it always Mark for some reason? Robert's supposed to be the center of the action, but everything happens to Mark. What is this, Kirk Cameron syndrome or something?
Yes.
Well, I'll just tell you this. If I stole that watch, I'd give it back as soon as possible and get the heck out of Dodge, because I don't want Lyle Alzado coming after me.
No.
No. You will get torn a new one. You'll get torn
several new ones. Jeez.
And maybe a couple old ones. Episode 20, The Buck Stops Here. Robert attempts to prevent a wealthy wrestler from demolishing the school. I can only imagine who that wrestler is. Because the episode's not on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's a wealthy wrestler.
It was probably Ric Flair was like, "Woo! I'm gonna buy this school and I'm gonna demolish it. Woo! Get the wrecking ball ready. Woo!"
Yeah.
Hey, on Baywatch, he tries to buy a gym and turn it into condos.
This is true. And we'll be covering that on Ric Flair. And we'll be covering that on a future installment of... Yeah. Episode 21, Burger Palace Blues. Mark gets an unexpected lesson in sexual harassment after he lands a job as a waiter at the Burger Palace.
Oh no, don't tell me that some people from the school of Lookwell's favors that need extra attention are at this burger restaurant.
No comment. No comment whatsoever. Episode 22, The Beth Patrol. Ellen suggests that Mallory appoint Beth as his student assistant. By the way, Beth, for those who, like me, have a short attention span, Beth is Ellen's best friend. She's played by Jackie Mann. And that is pretty much the only show she's... Oh, wait, no! She played Beth on Hanging In!
Oh!
Another person who was on Hanging In!
Ladies and gentlemen, we may have a situation where we have a Hanging In universe.
A Hanging In television universe.
A Hanging In television... If any of our Canadian listeners are listening and want to chime in on this, just hit us up on our website, because we have questions.
We have questions, yeah.
Yeah, the American version of this is everything always goes back to a couple shows like Making It and Match Game Hollywood Squares Hour. For our Canadian viewers, everything goes back to either Definition or it goes back to Hanging In.
Yeah. I don't think anyone on this show is on Definition with Jim Perry, but
sadly.
Who knows?
Well, Definition would have been canceled right about this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The penultimate episode. Episode 23. Who am I this time? Robert has a bout with amnesia after a wrestling injury and shows up at school dressed as the Masked Maniac.
Oh, no.
Trump! Trope.
We've all been there.
And finally, episode 24. Robert faces commitment. Carol's plan for a romantic weekend with Robert go awry when he's scheduled to wrestle. How is Robert gonna be in two places at the same time? Ay, Dios mío!
Thank you, Luis Avalos.
Santa Barbara.
Santa Maria.
What is this? The beach report?
Oh, fudge. So yeah, we talked about the show's connection to the National Wrestling Alliance for cross promotion, and actually, Lyle Alzado appeared on the NWA's Clash of the Champions 2 event to discuss and promote the sitcom. And by the way, guys, it's funny that Lyle Alzado was on Clash of the Champions 2, because you know who was on Clash of the Champions 1 as a guest judge?
Who?
Ric Flair Sting match. Mike, are you sitting down?
I'm sitting.
Ken Osmond!
Ah, jeez.
You're going to have to explain that one, Greg.
Oh, yeah. Ken Osmond. Because Ken Osmond, what was on TBS at the time in 1988?
Yeah, the new Leave It to Beaver.
The new Leave It to Beaver, yeah.
Or whatever it was called.
The new Leave It to Beaver was on TBS at the time. So that's why he was there. But you know who else was there as a judge?
Gallagher?
Oh, can you imagine if Gallagher was in wrestling? Can you imagine?
Who says, hey, anyone can be in wrestling. Just ask Alex Trebek. This guy.
But yeah, who else was there with Ken Osmond? Jason Hervey.
Oh, yeah, Wayne from the Wonder Years.
Yeah, who actually has done television production work with Eric Bischoff. Yeah. I think they worked on Hogan Knows Best together. Brother. Yeah. But yeah, we were talking about, remember how I talked about about the joke about Jim Crockett with poor pay? Yeah, this was around the time where Jim Crockett sold the promotion to Ted Turner around late 1988, because the NWA was spending money left and right. They were spending money on private planes, jet setting all the wrestlers and everything, and they were buying all sorts of territories. They bought the Florida promotion down there in the southeast. They bought Bill Watts Universal Wrestling Federation in the Mid-South area. They were just spending money left and right, and it was just, it was too much to keep up. So they bought the company, Ted Turner, and they changed the NWA to WCW. And then 13 years later, WCW would be bought by Vince McMahon and the WWF, and the rest is history. Oh, and now as of last year, Turner's now back in wrestling, of course, with All Elite Wrestling AEW. So you know what I think we should have, guys?
A Learning the Ropes reboot.
Yeah, we need a Learning the Ropes reboot.
Well, we already have that sort of Learning the Ropes reboot if you count John Cena on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? No? Okay.
Wait, who?
Never mind. Anyway.
Hey, I don't know who you're talking about. I've never seen him.
Nobody has.
Nobody's ever seen him. So yeah, Chico, I think we should have the Learning the Ropes reboot with the stars of AEW. You could have John Moxley, you could have the Young Bucks, you could have Kenny Omega. You could even have a special episode with Orange Cassidy.
Now just think about it. They kind of sort of already rebooted it. If you've ever seen it's only similar in that there's a wrestler and a family involved. And that would be the Big Show on Netflix.
Oh yeah, future installment, The Big Show. Man,
Future installment, The Big Show.
That's the second time we've worked The Big Show into this episode.
Yeah, he needs to come up with Paul White needs to come up with a word that isn't an easy pun.
Yeah. I mean, for crying out loud, the big boss man, stole his dad's casket.
Right?
That'll be in a future episode, the Big Boss Man's 1999 WWF heel run. The greatest heel run, I might add. The Big Boss Man in 1999 was a straight-up dick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Making fun of the Big Show for being a bastard and then feeding Al Snow his dog. That happened, folks. One thing I want to add about learning the ropes is the following clip, and this comes from the Kayfabe Commentaries Timeline of WCW 1988 DVD with Sean Oliver as he interviews J.J. Dillon, the legendary manager of the Four Horsemen, as he talks about his experiences on learning the ropes.
Produced in Toronto.
Yes. Did you do any of them?
Yeah, I did an episode.
Okay.
One of the early episodes.
How does this deal come to fruition where the Crockett's would be supplying talent?
I don't remember what the initial connection was, but it was, again, you grow and you expand and you want to do other things. And the thought of supplying talent for this thing, I went up there and I think it was like a 4-day thing and got to be around Lyle Alzado, a great guy who, he got very sick and died a horrible death, but it was great to be around him. And the one episode, I think I still have a copy of it somewhere, where I was a wrestler who moonlighted as an artist, and I don't remember how it all came out, but Lyle Alzado was a school teacher during the day that wrestled with a mask. That was the premise, and then all of the stories involved that where he didn't want anybody at the school to know that that's what he did.
Did you feel a little bit of a betrayal? Because here is for the first time, certainly for you for the first time, you're participating in something which says, it ain't what you think it is. Even if we already knew?
No, never thought of it that way. Good. I mean, I had a dream career. If I could sit down and say all the things that I wanted to do and accomplish in the places that I wanted to go, I really did it all because I was very lucky, had a lot of help, right place at the right time. Being on a television show, even if it was one episode in a series, was a new horizon for me. A lot of guys have been in movies, and I was never one of them. I remember a bunch of guys in Amarillo early in my career worked in a movie, and they left me in Amarillo because I was working the main events at the time, and they couldn't afford to. So I was disappointed that I didn't get to be in that movie. Would like it someday to be in a movie, some minor part. There's very few things that I haven't accomplished, but it's always nice to have would it be a bucket list or wrestling? I don't have an action figure. It's the only thing I don't have. And I would have thought, and at one point, the WWF/WWE had a thing with Jack's Toys that I think is now expired, but nobody ever said so, but apparently there had to be approval from Vince, and I was not on the best of terms with him, so it never got done. Maybe because of that. And I've had people say, "Wow, I can't believe that they could have marketed a Horseman set, but there isn't one of you." I would have thought it's a business decision. And so there's very few things that
the almighty buck didn't even supersede the personal. Whatever.
I'd like to be in a movie someday, and maybe before I go to the great beyond, that there may be a J.J. Dillon action figure.
You hear that, Mattel? We want a J.J. Dillon WWE action figure.
Just before I go get my dinner, I have one thing to say, guys.
I know what this is. CBS Price is Right.
It's time for eBay Price is Right, bitches!
No, it's time to end the show.
Oh! This is another Vince Russo swerve. Bro, everyone was thinking about learning the ropes, that Mike was going to go straight to eBay prices right, but bro, they've already heard about the Masked Maniac. They don't want to hear anymore. They want to go straight to the prugs, bro.
Well, what Greg's trying to say is, it was a thing on TV.
That's right, bro.
Yeah, and I'll admit I did legitimately look to see if there's anything on eBay, but nope, there's nothing related to the show on eBay, to everybody's surprise.
You could have at least tried to find the NWA Mellow Yellow cans if they were on eBay. That was a thing that actually happened.
I was going on eBay, I searched NWA Mellow Yellow.
Oh no, did you find some?
I didn't find a can. I found an NWA Mellow Yellow baseball cap.
What?
I'm listening.
I'm not kidding you. Actually, I found a number of them. Well, these are all sold. Every one sold for $19.19. The cans, oh my gosh. Ones with Barry Windham and Larry Zbyszko sold for $12.
Oh, wait. You know
the
what?
ones with Ric Flair and the Road Warriors sold for $20.
Funny. But you know what I got to say about that $12 price for that can?
Somebody get me a banana.
Yeah, maybe they'll make banana-flavored Mellow Yellow. Who knows? Oh, that's disgusting. But anywho.
Yuck.
Yeah, that'll leave a bad taste in your mouth. But anywho.
Row!
Damn!
Well, that was learning the ropes, and it was a series. And yeah, you got to see the NWA stars on television. I mean, that was pretty cool. I mean, anytime you get to see, like, Ronnie Garvin on a sitcom, that's kind of a win right there. Okay, so at Place to Be Nation Pop, we have some good shows that have come up in the past week. In episode 33 of Laugh-In Theater, Andy Afferton was joined by Rob Kindler to do a live watch of the 1982 comedy Wayne's World as they discuss public access cable, the flow be driving when the song Bohemian Rhapsody comes on, White Castle Burgers, Great Papon, Columbia House, Washington Plains Land, haiku, street hockey, facial expressions, why Rob Lowe seems ageless. Oh my God, Wes, that's for you right there. Alice Cooper's acting, arcades, donut shops, Terminator 2, and cover bands. So remember, party on. And in the latest episode of Diamond Conversations, former Miami Marlins, Seattle Mariners, and San Diego Padres relief pitcher Carter Capps appeared on the podcast. Capps, most known for his very unorthodox pitching style later in his career, is now a coach for the highly regarded Driveline Baseball. His coaching philosophy and his success of getting to the big leagues takes center stage in this fantastic interview. And also be sure to check out the PTPN Wrestling Network, which includes a dive into topics running the gamut from the days WWE through yesteryear. The feed includes the Place to Be podcast, Main Event, Jenny the Gems, Body Pressure Lock, PTP NXT, the NWA Saturday Special, NWA Crock and Roll, Highway to the Impact Zone, and so much more. Subscribe today. And while you're at it, subscribe to Jennifer Smith's The Jenny Position feed as well. It is the home of Geek and Sassy Talk and Pop, Freak Out Driving, The Journey Through Infinity, Telling Stories, The Brother Sister Rewatch Podcast, Bianca's First Time, and more. And at the North-South Connection, brought to you by JT Rizzero, Chad Campbell, and George, it is the home for Wrestling Warzone, No Holds Barred, The Extreme Three-Way Dance, The Ruthlessly Aggressive Podcast, Carolina Dreaming, Jeff Learns Wrestling, and more. And right now, we have on the tournament Facebook page the greatest song from a movie tournament going on right now. And you can keep an eye on that page for details. And of course, we got the 2020 Stretch Project determining the greatest WCW match ever. You have all you need to do the research, promote matches, and build your list. Conversation rules can be found at www.facebook.com/GWCW matches or on the Pro Wrestling Only message board. And be sure not to forget to check out PTBN at placetobenation.com each and every day. We have new voices and fresh takes, bring you articles on topics in the worlds of wrestling, sports, and pop culture, which include Trent's SmackDown on Fox Report, This Week in the WWE by John Crow, Steve Riddle's Wonderful World of Disney Reviews, Chloe's Perspective, Matt's live-action Disney movie reviews, and Ben's Unpopular Opinion. And if you're doing online shopping at Amazon.com, be sure to click on the Amazon banner on the right side of the Place to Be Nation homepage, or use www.placetonbenation.com/Amazon. It'll take you right to Amazon and helps out PTBN at no cost to you. Okay, we are at our second and final topic of the day, and it's about, folks, balls. That's right, folks. Balls. Balls, 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 and balls. It's a UK game show from the late aughts on ITV, and it's called Golden Balls. Yeah. Unfortunately, the show is not as fun as the title sounds. But what is Golden Balls? Well, let's take a look and find out.
Episode 90, Submission 1400, Golden Balls. Golden Balls aired on ITV from June 18th, 2007 to December 18th, 2009 for a total of 6 seasons of 289 episodes.
Today's players have all been truthful.
I'm just begging you, please give me that chance.
They've all been trusted.
What I'll do, I'll just prove that you're lying. Now.
And they've all been stolen from.
Ashley, you like the sound of your own voice.
Will history repeat itself? Let's find out. It's Golden Ball. It's time for Golden Balls, where once again there's a fortune waiting to be won or lost. And today, 4 returning players looking to bluff their way to the big money.
Well, guys, it's come to this. Balls.
Balls?
Balls.
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 Balls. It's
Balls.
a show about balls.
Isn't that right, Jeff Peterson?
Balls, huh? Yeah, balls. Balls.
In your pants.
Isn't that right, Ray William Johnson?
Balls, 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 balls,
Balls?
I'm just saying.
Not just any balls. Golden balls.
Golden balls.
Golden balls. Balls of gold. 100 of them, to be precise. In a sort of tumbling... It's in a sort of a number jumbler tumbler thing.
Well, you know what it reminds me of, and this is a very accurate observation.
I know what it reminds you
of. It reminds me of the ball cage they used on future installment Caesar's Challenge.
Yes, sir!
Yeah, except you don't have like a centurion.
No, you have Amanda Grant. But she's not the star of the show. She's simply the model of the show. The star of the show is one Jasper Carrot, a.k.a. Robert Norman Davis. He's very matter-of-fact on this show. He simply, first thing you need to understand is he says balls a lot. And he also says gold a lot. But the rules of this game are, and they're very simple, keep the cash, knock out the killers. That's just good life advice, by the way. That's it. Good night. No.
Well, there's a little bit more to that.
Yeah, there is a nuance. There's a nuance. We talked about the cage of 100 balls. They call that the Golden Bank. 12 balls from the Golden Bank are put into play. Those balls are going to be with 4 players for the rest of the game.
We should also add, well, not necessarily through the rest of the game, because if you get knocked out, which we'll get to in a little bit, that money goes bye-bye too.
Yeah.
But also we should add that The balls range. I'm sorry, not just the balls. The golden balls.
The golden balls.
We need to emphasize that the golden balls. They range in value from 10 pounds all the way up to 75,000 pounds. So there's potential for big money in this, especially for a daytime game show. And it happened a few times where the money got really, really serious.
Six figures if you do it right.
Oh yeah, at least I've seen six figures, but it was not uncommon to see values upwards of 20,000 pounds. But also at the same time, if you have bad luck, which we'll talk about in a little bit, you could be playing for 10 pounds or less.
Okay.
But
But
in addition to the 12 random money balls, they're all randomly selected, again, sort of like the letters on Caesar's Challenge. There are 4 killer balls put into play.
You don't want the killer ball. You do
Yeah,
not.
the killer balls are not good. You want money.
Yes.
And what happens is each of the 4 players is given 4 balls randomly through some sort of spinning device that sort of separates them and drops off the balls in their home areas, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What then happens is the contestants put the balls on 4 pedestals in front of them, arranged 2 in the front row, 2 in the back row. And then they can take a look to see what the values are of all 4 balls. Because what's going to happen is your front 2 balls are going to be revealed. Boy, I had to watch how I say that. But yeah, your 2 front golden balls are then revealed, the values for everybody to see on an individual basis.
So
And
you're
then-
saying that you get to show off 2 of your balls.
2 of your golden balls, yes. Oh, this is not going to be full of double entendres, folks. No, just telling you that right now. Nope. But yeah, you show off the values of 2 of your balls, the 2 in the front row, and then the back 2, you can either tell the truth or you can lie. So this, it depends how you want to play the game.
And that's important because after a, shall we say, spirited discussion, just short of somebody throwing la chancla, y'all know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to vote out who you think has the killers.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is you want to get rid of the killers, or if you don't get rid of the killers, at least get rid of the low values. Get rid of the 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds.
Keep the big money in, and you knock out the killers.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you don't get rid of the killers in the first round, it's fine. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And so it's just basically a vote of the 4 contestants. They say, okay, who do you think should be voted off? And whoever gets most of the votes, either 3 votes or 2 votes, gets the boot. And then before they go, they need to show what was on their balls. The golden balls, people. You know what I'm talking about.
People!
And so that sort of shows off whether you're being honest or not, because there are people who be brutally honest and say, okay, I've got a killer, but also at the same time, I've got 30,000 pounds. So there's a dilemma. Do you want to keep the person who's got a killer in the game, but also at the same point, they've got 30,000 pounds? So that's like a good and a bad. Usually, if you were honest and had a big value, they'd keep you. But since you can lie about your values, nothing's stopping you from saying, I've got a 12,000-pound ball and I've got a 15,000-pound ball. And then when you open it up, oh, there's a killer and there's 25 pounds. So you've got to do some detective work. You've got to call people's bluff. You've got to analyze them. And the thing is, sort of like, again, future installment, Dirty Rotten Cheaters, there's a round of interrogation. Well, I wouldn't even call it interrogation. It was almost like downright finger pointing. Okay, you're lying. Oh, I'm not lying. You know,
it's like I said, it's like one level shy of throwing la chancla.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it
They
really
get
is.
they get down and dirty. They're straight up in the muck on this show.
Yeah. And so after the vote, whoever has the most votes is gone. And if it's tied, the two contestants who are not up for being booted, they get to pick who gets the boot.
Yeah. And if there's a four-way tie, then the first three to reach an agreement on who should be eliminated advances to the next round. Like,
So
it's almost a game of, not it.
No, this is almost sort of sounds like the middle round of the U.S. version of Divided.
Yeah.
Where you need three people to boot somebody out.
So everybody left reveals what was on their balls. They're golden balls. Then the balls are placed back into the spinner, and two more balls are added from the golden bank, and one more killer ball is also added, bringing the total amount of balls to 15. Each player gets 5 balls, 2 in front, 3 behind. And like before, they have to reveal what was in the front line of balls.
And the key to this round is a good memory, because since we're putting 2 new balls into play, well, no, we're not just putting 2 new balls into play.
We're putting 3 balls.
We're putting 3 balls because you also add another killer in the mix.
Full count.
So yeah, there's another killer and 2 more money balls in the mix. And a good memory helps here, because if you remember what values moved on from the first round, that gives you a sense of credibility. Because if you say in the back row you've got, okay, I've got the biggest ball from round 1, and then, oh, I've got 2 new balls because I don't remember what was played in the first round or what made it over to round 2, that sort of gives, either you're very lucky by getting the 2 random balls, or you just have a bad strategy and bad memory.
Yep.
And the thing is, being honest here really is the best policy to get you into the final. And again, there's killers in play, at least 1, but conceivably
there's always
there
at least 1.
5
Yeah.
killers. And that's another thing that actually Jasper keeps track of. Just when people say what they have is, we've got 3 people who say that there's 4 killers out there, but only 3 are in the game. 2 made it from the last round, and then the 1 that was added. So somebody's clearly lying. Or actually, it's usually the other way around, where nobody admits to killers, and or rarely admits to killers. The number of killers that are declared is actually less than what's in the game, because again, you want to pretend, hey, I've got all this money, I don't have killers, I'm safe going into the next round, when that may not actually be the case.
First of all, the lesson here is, don't try and get one up on Jasper. He knows more than you think.
Well, also, don't try getting one up on the contestants. Have a good memory, remember what's been played, and don't just pull out of your butt in round 2, oh, I've got a 60,000-pound ball, when maybe there's not a 60,000-pound ball in play, and also that's a little far-fetched that you have that ball when there's so many middling values. There's 1,000 pounds, 1,500 pounds, 3,000 pounds. Don't bite off more than you can chew, essentially.
Yeah. After the ceremonial throwing of La Chancla, we get another vote. This time, the vote to eliminate is 2, obviously, because there are 3 players. But if there's a 3-way tie, we have another one of those not it sort of votes. And, of course, whoever has the most votes is eliminated. They bin all of their balls, but not before going through the indignity of showing what they have.
Yeah, showing if they're telling the truth or if they're full of what.
Balls. If they're full of balls.
Balls.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, who's talking out of their balls and who's just talking. And the final 2 are going on to the final round, which is called Bin or Win. But Not before Amanda adds one more killer.
So conceivably, there could be 6 killers in play. And if there's 6 killers in play, well, number one, you have bad judgment skills on other people, whether they're telling the truth or not. But 2, the more killers you bring into this game, the more likely you're not going to win a whole ton of money. And the reason why is, in this round, the 11 balls are placed on a platform of sorts, like a table, and brought to the 2 contestants on opposite ends of a table. And they get to alternate picking one ball at a time. They're all still closed. And the idea is the first ball that's picked gets binned, which means essentially thrown away, discarded. The second ball the person chooses is a win ball, which means that constitutes how much you're going to play for in the final round, which we'll get to in a little bit. So player 1 picks one ball to bin, then a ball to win for their final prize. Player 2 does the same, picks one to bin, picks one to win. Player 1 then does it a third time. Player 2 does it a fourth time. Player 1 then does it a fifth time. So you end up with 5 balls binned and 5 balls won. And then also you have 1 ball that doesn't make it. So the optimal strategy, which obviously is just pure luck, is you want to bin the killers and you want to win the big money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happens if you win a killer? Well, there's a reason why it's called a killer. Your bank drops by 90%.
It is literally decimated.
Yeah, literally decimated. Move that decimal 1 space to the left. That's the effect of a killer.
Yep.
So the thing is, if you can't get rid of your killers, or if you have too many killers and they end up showing up, you may take your 1,000 pounds. Oh, there's a killer. You go down to 100 pounds. Oh, there's another killer. You go down to 10 pounds. Oh, there's another killer. You go down to 1 pound. So you can see how this really could kill your bank if you make some unlucky decisions.
Yeah,
but also,
let's just say you have the $75,000 pound ball. You find 4 killers after that. You're playing for £7.50.
Yeah, and also luck can be on your side, because if you've been at the right time, get rid of those killers, you could have a clean board.
Oh, but yes.
I did the stats on this, the probability years ago. I forget the exact number, but the probability of getting a perfect round in terms of getting the 5 highest values was something like 1 in 320. It wasn't astronomical. It was very doable, and I'm sure it's happened probably at least once or twice on the show. So it's something that can happen. But also, like I said earlier, yeah, there's a possibility you might end up with £1.50 or 10 pounds, especially if, the stuff that you win are killers and 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. So, yeah, there's a lot of luck involved here. And the order that you pick the balls, that you win the balls, is important, because whatever you get is automatically added or deducted to your total. So if you start off with, say, a 50,000 pound ball, good job. But if then your next ball you win is a killer, you're down to 5,000. And then the next ball you win is another killer, you go down to 500, and then, so on and so forth. So whatever your running total is after 5 balls, that's what you take to the final round. And the final round is something that's been used maybe a little too much on different shows, except they didn't use the name you may be used to. They called it splitter steel. It's basically another way of saying, hey, here's the prisoner's dilemma. Hey, it's friend or foe. Are you a friend or are you a foe?
Okay. So both contestants are given 2 balls. 2 final balls. So both contestants have 2 balls in front of them. One says split, and the other says steal. They confirm in secret that they have a ball that says split and a ball that says steal. And after, hemming and hawing over whether or not they should share the money or take it all for themselves, they choose one of the balls. If the balls chosen, one on each side, say split, they split the bank and go home with an equal share of the money. If one says split and the other says steal, the person who chose steal takes the whole lot. If one says steal and the other say steal, then we're going to have to hide the chanclas because they're going to be throwing them at each other. Because nobody goes home with anything. That doesn't sound familiar at all.
Yeah. As we said, it's been done numerous times on shows like Shafted and Divided, kind of, sort of, even though that's more of a three-way split and you got to pick your share. But like we said, it's been on Friend or Foe. That would be the most familiar title to people on the American side of the Atlantic. But now there's more to this game, and I found this interesting. If you look at the game itself, not only is it a giant game of luck and probability, but also it gets into how people think and how people play under those circumstances. Do they lie? Do they say they're going to split when they're actually going to steal? And some interesting stuff that actually economists determined regarding the decisions. I mean, when it comes to the prisoner's dilemma and situations like this, like game theory and stuff, definitely you want to go to economists. They know this stuff inside and out. And also, obviously, social scientists looked at this as like a big experiment as well. So they went beyond the numbers and looked at how people played the game. So players, on average, they chose split 53% of the time, which I think is a surprising number. I mean, that shows how trusting people are. More people chose split than steal, which I think is very telling. Because I'm not going to lie, if I go on the show, I'm going steal because, steal is going to beat split every time. And you better have a ton of faith that your partner is going to say, well, it does make a difference. I mean, whether they say split or steal, you're either going home with everything or nothing. If you play split, you're hoping that your opponent plays split as well. But, given this is a game of deception and there's a little bit of lying involved, you got to look back at the person's history in the game. If they've been honest throughout the course of the game, they're probably going to be honest in the end game. If you've got the person who said, "Oh, I've got the 75,000-pound ball," and they didn't bring the 75,000-pound ball, I wouldn't be all that trusting of them.
Interesting you mentioned about that sort of thing. According to that same study, young men are more likely to pick steal than young women. But at the same time, older men are more likely to pick split than younger men. So it's like the older you get, the more trusting you become. And that is about this, and that's about the opposite of what happens when you're a female. So I just think that's pretty interesting.
The older you get, the more I'm calling BS on that.
Well, I was going to say, is it necessarily trusting or is it gullibility?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If you are an older man and you're going up against a younger woman, men's minds tend to go in different directions, with a beautiful woman involved or a beautiful young woman involved.
Once they get their balls involved, then it becomes a problem.
Another mention of balls. But yeah, you're not wrong, though, about that. So I can understand, where older men might be more gullible or maybe fall in that trap, and then a young lady says, "Oh, no, you're not going home with anything, Pops."
So over the course of the show, it sort of became, I don't want to say appointment television, but it became really popular until it just fell off sometime in the summer of 2009. I couldn't tell you what in the world happens then, but it just, one of these days, I guess the universal answer is, yeah, they poured all of their money into it, tapped out their key demographic, and tapped out. Too long didn't read version. Everybody got sick of it.
More or less, yeah. It happens. I mean, there's been plenty of shows that we've seen have started like a house on fire, and then after a year or two, it's like, this is like the same old.
Yeah, after a year or two, I'm like, I can only see so many psychopaths on my television during high tea.
And just remember some of the names of TV shows that have gone through that. I mean, one of them is coming back next month in form of The Weakest Link. Oh, that was the biggest thing in 2001, but it was off of network television by 2002, and then there was a year in syndication. But that went as soon as it came, essentially. It was here, and there was so much promotion going around. It was a house on fire for a year or so, and then
it burned.
We're not going to watch because the likelihood of anybody winning anywhere near $1 million is nothing.
True, and the same can be said here. It's not so much about the player's fault; it's just one of the mechanics of the game. Yes, you can pick a 75,000-pound ball and then a 25,000-pound ball, and you'd have a bank of 100,000 pounds. Pick 3 killers, that's down to 100.
In addition, and this shows how popular this show was, there wasn't just a board game. There was a DS game, and there was a Wii game. And I've played on an emulator the DS version, and oh my gosh, that might as well be a game that'll be brought up in the next video game show. That is a bad video game. Even as like a probability experiment, it was bad. It was bad. Now, maybe it's because, excuse the phrase, you don't have balls in your hand.
Oh, my God.
Well, but, okay, but serious, okay, okay, I'm bringing out the props. Okay. You don't have tangible, okay, these are dice, but still, you don't have the props in your hand.
Those are not balls.
These look like balls.
Oh, put your balls away, Mike. Oh, my God.
Another reason why this should be a video podcast.
And so, yeah, you don't have tangible props. These may be dice, 120-sided dice, which...
they make those? Oh, my God!
I've got 2 of them, yeah.
There's such 120-sided dice, you don't even see part of the thing.
Hey, laugh now, Greg, but if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have 120 options and you need something to decide it...
When am I ever going to need 120 options for something?
Anyway.
Well, okay. Now, remember, 120 is divisible by a bunch of numbers. 12 and 10 and 3. Not that you need 40 options for something, but, I mean, if you had, like, 3 options, well, 1 through 40 could be option 1, 41 through 80 could be option 2, and 81 through 120 could be option 3. But we're getting off track. The point is, you don't have a tangible object in your hands. You're making a selection on a video screen, on a DS screen. So, but at least in the board game, they actually did have. Oh God, I can't believe I'm saying
balls.
Go ahead, say it.
They had tiny balls. Yes.
Tiny balls.
The board game had tiny balls.
Be quiet. Greg's singing "Tiny Balls" like tiny bubbles.
Tiny balls in the rain.
The champagne's on Corbell.
Thanks,
Great
Bono.
big balls. Huge, disgusting, artificially injected balls.
Oh my.
I think that was Alan Thicke there that said that.
No, it was George Takei, dummy.
It sounded like you're Alan Thicke.
Okay.
Well, you know how I'm going to say this?
Don't make me call Alan.
Oh, no.
He's still upset.
No.
Mike, he's told me he's very upset by your terrible rendition of the Wizard of Oz theme. That's why he left a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no.
Okay, you know how I'm going to save this?
What?
It's time for eBay Price is Right.
Oh boy.
No.
Would you rather me do my version of Wizard of Oz?
It's time for eBay Price is Right.
Now, I'm picking at random. There's actually, it looks like 9 finished auctions of Golden Balls Wii games.
Oh,
and I'm going to roll the 120 doesn't go into 9 evenly, but I'll figure out something. Whatever
Like, you want to play with your balls on your Wii? What?
I couldn't even play it on my Wii since it's not even region free.
Yeah, you can't play it on your Wii because it is not region free. Okay, so I'm going to pick, that one. So we're bidding on a copy of Golden Balls. This sold on eBay on July 2nd of this year. It's from Rossendale, UK. We're going to bid in American dollars, okay? So don't give me British pounds. It's already been converted automatically by eBay.
Cool.
This is like new.
Like new.
So it's probably had some little bit of use. It's not factory sealed. So like new from a smoke and pet-free home. Well, too bad you don't have any pets because pets are good. Isn't that right, Bonoodles? Okay, we'll see if he comes.
Pets are awesome.
Pets are very awesome.
Okay.
So again, we're going to do dollars and cents converted from British pounds. And I think I started with Greg last time, so I'm going to start with Chico.
So it's a Wii game.
It's a Wii game, not Wii U. Yeah, it's a Wii game, original Wii.
I'm gonna go, and because it's not rare, I don't think. So I'm gonna go with $20.
Well, remember it's on that side of the Atlantic.
Oh,
so...
in that case, $60.
Okay, Greg.
$5.
Believe it or not, you've both overbid.
What?
So we'll start the bidding. The low bid was
was $5.
Was $5, yes. So you need to bid under $5, Chico.
I need to bid under $5. $4.20, because if you buy this game, you are obviously smoking something.
Smoke them if you got them. Greg.
$4.21.
And you're still over.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Go lower than $4.20.
99 cents. I'm like, fuck it, 99 cents.
Greg?
$1, Bob.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was
when
coming.
He said 99 cents, it set me up.
Well,
yeah. Well, guys, you heard I didn't say y'all overbid again, so it was at least $1. Well, if you want to buy this copy of Golden Balls for the Wii, it's going to cost you $2.64.
Oh,
wow! You got robbed.
Well, hold on, but there's a huge catch.
What's the catch? The shipping.
And somebody actually still bought this. The shipping was £29.53.
Yeesh!
Which converts to almost $39.
Wow.
For that price, you could just get you a VPN, order it off Amazon, gently used.
Yeah, well, but also remember, this isn't even compatible with US NTSC versions of the Wii. So you need to have a PAL version.
Or you need to have a hacked region-free version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just about to say.
Yeah, but the likelihood of that is pretty low. So yeah, if you had $2.64. Actually, I'm sorry, eBay converted the shipping differently than I did. $40.89 to ship.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
And taking a look, that's actually, it looks like the highest shipping of any of these. Oh no, there's one that's $41.36 to ship.
Okay.
But then there's some that are $5.28. I'm guessing that's for UK only.
Mm-hmm.
$21.99, $22.03, $7.90. So, yeah, if you have about $45 sitting around, you can get a copy of this. But again, I mean, unless you're a big fan and you have a PAL version of the Wii,
I wouldn't even bother with it.
Don't waste your money.
Okay.
Go get an emulator, a DS emulator. Get Golden Balls for the DS. Play it. Do like I did. Remove it from your emulator after one game and wipe your hands clean. Or actually, what it may even be a cheaper option is just order the home game.
Okay.
And no, we're not going to play eBay prices right for the home game.
No. Well, if we did that, then we wouldn't have time for what I just sent you. This is, without a doubt, the weirdest Splitter Steel ever.
And we're going to link this because I've seen this in the past. This was absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre.
This is going to, and it's like, you could look into his, this is one of those things where it's like, I wish this was a video podcast, because you can look into his eyes. He's got the psycho eyes.
Oh, he's got crazy eyes. You better believe it.
He's got crazy eyes.
But yeah, we're definitely going to link this in the episode description so you can see this.
It has to be seen to be believed.
This is amazing. It really is. This could have easily backfired on him. I'm not giving any spoilers. I want you guys to see the video. It's had a ton of views on YouTube. As of right now, it's at 10.5 million views for a Golden Balls clip. How about that?
10.5 million for a show that not many people in America have seen. Although, and we like to talk about these things before the show, but I told Mike and Greg, this could work if it were on Netflix. Because, A, people would actually pay to watch this crap, and B, no reason to constrict it with those pesky commercials. Even though it was on ITV and it did air commercials.
But also, I think another thing is given some of the shows that Netflix has had in terms of prize money being offered, this is relatively tame. I mean, yeah, there's a possibility you can give away, let's say, $100,000 or $50,000. But on an average day, it seemed like, they'd give away at most maybe $5,000, $10,000. And again, remember, you need to have somebody say split, because if they both pick steel, nobody's winning anything.
Yep.
So that'll keep the budget down too, because that when there's big money at stake, greed gets into play. Oh, I want to take the entire pot instead of half of $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a very psychological game. Like I said, I like it. I know Greg and Chico don't like it necessarily.
No, I do not like it at all.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Well, again, I'm looking at it from the mathematical and psychological perspectives, human nature and stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely fascinating.
Well, I have a problem with a game that you can do everything perfectly perfect and still lose.
Understandable, understandable, and that now that's another dilemma that just popped in my mind. Boy, that's a great case for not liking it, because if you're totally honest, maybe even honest to a fault, yes, you'll say, "Oh, I'm going to share it because I'm a nice guy. I haven't lied to you the whole show," and you tell that to the other person, he or she could easily be like, "Okay, well, you know what? I'll share too because you've been honest with me the entire game, and I've been honest with you." And then all it takes is one act of deception, and your 50% stake in the winning is now gone. So I could definitely see why you might not like it for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know why Greg doesn't like it, but I'm sure his reasons are valid.
It was just a boring show to me. I mean, the gimmick is, the whole joke is, oh, it's balls. They're picking balls. And
balls.
Yeah. And then afterwards, it's just like, it's like they talked it out. And it's like,
they're talking out the balls.
They're talking out the balls. And it's like, there's no fun to this whatsoever.
They like talking about balls.
They're talking about balls. It's not fun. It's not fun to watch at all.
Well, again, your mileage may vary.
There's no playability to it either. That's another thing.
Well, there's no interactivity. That's not a bad point at all. Because how much fun is it watching people open up balls? Oh my gosh! Oh gosh! This is going to be rated X by the end of the show. But yeah, how much fun is it seeing people open balls and show? Oh, I got 15 pounds. Oh, I got 75 pounds. You don't have a vested interest or a stake in the game. I'm sure ITV did some sort of interactive game because it seems like every game show, especially British, at that time would have, oh, you can win 1,000 pounds by picking the right box on Deal or No Deal, or you can win 10,000 pounds by playing a more recent game like 5 Gold Rings at Home. So I'm sure there was some lure. Okay, you can win 5,000 pounds by, picking which one of these is the 5,000 pound ball or whatever.
Didn't NBC sort of have like a play along thing with Deal or No Deal?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking
absolutely,
about that.
Yes.
I was just thinking about that.
Yes, and also 1 versus 100 had a play along game too. So it's not uncommon, and that's usually the lure is, okay, yeah, this is a boring game. There's no interactivity, but hey, you have a 1 in 100,000 chance of winning 5,000 pounds, and conceivably it could be a free entry. I mean, usually they charge you for text entries or SMS entries, but usually they say if you go online to our website, you can get 1 entry for free. So
you can.
So there's a draw there, but no, I understand the interactivity. That's a very valid point because that's sort of like, it's almost like if you go to a casino and you're watching an old lady play slots. Well, what fun is it? She's not going to give you anything if she wins. It's more fun to actually partake in the game. Put your dollar in the slot or however much money you want to play and pull the handle.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of the same thing. I absolutely understand where you're coming from. But again, that's the difference between you and me. You're not interested since you can't have any sort of vested interest.
I have no vested interest necessarily in this game. Yeah.
Yeah, but also at the same point, I look at it from the point of view of, oh my gosh, this is like a probability. Oh God, forget this term because all the balls we're talking about. This is like a probability wet dream. Okay, let me rephrase that. This is like a master's course in probability. Just all the odds, and then you've got the psychological factors coming into play. I think this is brilliant for that reason, but again, I'm not going to disagree with your opinion because it's your opinion, but you're absolutely right. No play-along factor definitely can bore you out.
Yeah, there's no play-along. There's no play-along. And the prisoner's dilemma is always a sour point as far as I'm concerned. At least as used in game shows. Future installment, Take It All. I'm looking at you.
Yeah, it just seems sort of like a bit of a cop-out using the prisoner's dilemma. There's got to be a better way, but what that way is, I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate because we've got to end the show.
Yeah. I'm going to steal. Well, Mike liked it, but for Greg and me, Golden Balls was just a thing on TV with balls.
Balls.
Hey, it's not my fault that 2 out of the 3 of us are wrong.
Balls.
Balls. Golden balls. You know what? But you know what else has balls?
Oh. It was a thing on TV.com.
Yeah.
Huh?
more about the show, more about us, all the past episodes, and our social feeds.
Oh, yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, share because sharing is caring. 5 stars, we accept nothing less.
Yeah, come on, give us some of the 5-star reviews. It's like we've been like, what, in a drought of 5-star reviews. Like, seriously.
We've been in a drought of reviews, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you can write a review, like just a review, like you could be like 1 sentence. As long as you give us 5 stars and you write a review, we'll give you something.
Our gratitude, that's what we'll give you.
Or gratitude, yeah.
Yeah, and again, none of that 4-star stuff. You know you love us. And I'm going to even call out my girlfriend. Laura, I know you're listening to this. You could just put a review on there and say, I'm doing this because my boyfriend told me to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, until next week. Well, I know Greg has been dying to do the first episode next week.
Oh,
It looks like Greg's been dying to do both of them.
Both of them, but the first episode, I was thinking if one episode of this show shows up online somewhere, we're gonna do it, and it did.
Yeah, it happened maybe about a month ago or so.
Oh yeah,
and not only that, but one of the people in this show is someone who's been featured in a previous entry.
Oh boy, that narrows it down to about 1,500 people.
Yes, it's down to 1,500 people. Man, yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, but I'll say this person is very heavenly, if I may say so.
Oh no! See, me and Chico know what he's saying, and if you've been and if you've listened to this podcast long enough, you know what Greg is saying.
As Chico would say, why don't you just say the name?
Why don't you just tell them what we're doing?
Yeah, telegraph it a little more there, Greg. But the second episode, this is something, again, we've sort of wanted to cover for a little while, and it's, again, another timely episode, given what will be happening around that time.
What may or may not be happening around that time.
Well, hopefully May. We'll put a positive twist on it. And this is another one that Greg and I vividly remember from back in the day.
Oh, this was so painful to watch, I remember.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. This was so terrible. I walked out of my own room.
Yeah.
And it's terrible not because of who was involved, more than the situation that happened.
What was involved?
What was
more
involved?
Or less.
What was involved, and what one of the participants was in that particular instance.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll talk about that next week. So as always, from us three, thank you for listening. And we will talk to you next week when we'll have 2 new installments of It Was a Thing on TV.
Wow! You know what I had to say after watching Golden Balls, guys?
What's that?
Kiss my ass!